episode number 175. So this is Vibrating Sheep, and as always, here to yell at me and to get yelled at is...
Hi, I'm DJ. What's up?
That was different. That's better. Alright, so new things this week. So the first thing that I want to point out, actually, is something that we've been missing for a while that came back. So, it's a welcome change. So when this server of a Sublime Brew skin came out, it was unvoiced for Sandalphon, and people were a little sad because it was, a sign that COVID had hit Granblue Fantasy. Like everything in Granblue Fantasy is like, hey, COVID, be aware that things will be delayed.
いらっしゃいませ、お客様。美味しいコーヒーはいかがですか?
So he finally got his lines as of yesterday?
Yesterday, he has lines. So the main thing is that, according to Fukuhara, at least, this was recorded remotely. And so this is a sign that that things can at least get a little bit closer to a point where they can record for this game. It's not much because, this, as a skin, you have what, like 3 lines for the homepage. I was doing the math. It's like just about like it's under 20 lines. It's about like 20 lines that you can get compared to, like
A full story.
A full story event, or even a Fate episode, right? Like, Fate episodes are going to be way more than this. But, hey, they were able to record something remotely. Like, it means that the voiceless characters are, what, Shura and Reinhardt's are, right? They might get voices.
New gen.
New generations, maybe harder. There's 3 of them.
There's 3 of them?
Yeah, considering there's 3 of them. But... this is inching closer and closer to a state where we can get some things that we don't have right now. And so, everybody who picked up this skin is happier. People who didn't pick up the skin are sad that they don't have this skin. But it's a start. Oh, that's right. Little Musing says that the Altair skin also is unvoiced at this time. So,
oh yeah.
There are a few things that were dropped and were missing due to COVID, and they're working on it. Like they're tackling the problem that we were talking about, where it's just hard to have a home recording set up. Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna call in on your iPhone and have that talk into your studio recording equipment? Like, we've been watching so many YouTube channels that are started by voice actors during this time, and they're all on like iPhones, or a few of them have like home condenser mics or something like that, but it's very, very clear that they're at home and not, in any kind of professional environment. There's echoes everywhere. Like, it's just, it's not a professional recording, even though there are professionals doing it. And this is, this had the engineers work on it. This had an environment appropriate for audio recording. So, getting closer to normal. Did you actually pick up the skin or no?
I did not.
That's fair. I wonder if they're going to bring this one back because of the unique circumstances, because usually when they put out a skin like this, it doesn't come back very often. Usually it's usually they're seasonal, come to think of it.
Usually it takes a year. Yeah.
Usually it takes a year to come back, and it goes into the outfit store. But given that this one was unvoiced when it came out, and now there is a significant change, I wonder if they're going to put it back in the shop. Like, not the outfit set shop, but, next time there's a gala, they'll just be like, hey, here's another chance to get it. Like, the only kind of precedent we have for that is the Zodiac outfits. And those have been pretty inconsistent over the years, too. Because we never actually got a Kumbira outfit. And we have no idea if we're going to get a Vikala outfit now because of that break-in tradition there. So, who knows?
It's all in the air.
All up in the air. Alright. So, that's out of the way. I do have to ask you, DJ. This is just a personal question. It has no
Okay.
bearing on the news or at all.
All right.
Given that Kaede is already voiced,
Mm-hmm.
which of the characters without voices would you like to have with a voice first? Which one would you prioritize?
Give me a list again on who's unvoiced right now.
New Generations,
Okay.
Reinhardt Czar, Shura.
Reinhardt's are.
That's fair. The paid Zoe skin came back when she was added to Flash. Yeah, that's fair. Is the Zoe skin in the outfit shop yet? Let's see.
Like you
Yes,
said
the
earlier,
Zoe outfit is here.
New Gen would take too much.
I do have to wonder, like, what the setup was like. I've seen pictures of a Japanese recording studio where there is a, like, 2 or 3 microphones set up. They're all partitioned for health purposes.
Yes.
And then instead of everyone being in the same room, there is a lobby area with a bunch of, like, seating also properly partitioned into COVID compliance for whoever is not recording at that time and then coming up. Like, I do wonder if that's what they meant by the remote recording kind of thing, or if it's not even that and it's actually legitimately remote. I would love to be able to ask Fukuhara that.
I do know, like you are able to like rent out like recording booths and stuff like that.
Right, and a lot of those recording
Another
booths, though,
thing.
had shut down because of health issues in order for them to have to reconfigure. So is that just reconfiguring now? Like, the big health issue, honestly, is not on the recording side, because after you can clean those out to a certain extent. It's the directorial side where you're in the back with like somebody. You've got to have engineers on the mixers. You've got to have your director there, like the voice director. In Cygames' case, there might be a voice director along with like further people about like So it's much more. There's much more in the way of people behind the glass than in front of the mic, right?
Yes.
So maybe that's what was remote. I wish I could ask. I would love to know the mechanics of this. All right. Next up. So we already talked about New Generations. We talked about Kaede. So
Did we talk about Kaede?
I would. Can we just skip talking about Kaede?
No.
The puns are so bad.
We don't have to talk about the puns.
But it's Kaede.
We still don't have to talk about the puns.
Okay, we're not talking. We're not talking about the puns. Let's just
All
talk about the character. All right. So, is she even close to what you imagined when they said that Kaede is going to be playable?
Not really. Really?
Like,
It's a her. So I expected the staff harp, pretty much.
right, because the staff is in her art, and they've just been giving harp to anybody who's ever stood in front of a microphone, essentially.
Yeah.
And they give it to dancers now too.
So usually with that typing, you get buffs of some sort. So that part I expected. I didn't expect this thing to be 15 turn cooldown, and be upheld by her CAing.
So, this kind of gives us an idea of what they're going to do with Korwa if they ever rework Korwa.
I mean, this buff is technically the same as SR Korwa.
Yeah? But, attack, double attack, triple attack. What are the numbers on this?
The numbers on this it's on normal modifier for attack, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
It's 30% attack up, 20% DA up, and 10% TA up.
So the 30% attack up is the same as a character like Altair.
Mm-hmm.
The 2010 is kind of an old standard, but it's there.
I don't know if I don't see any science on it if it stacks with
All of the other ones that like Neon and Korwa
Neon.
and stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
So the thing here is that I was actually testing Koikaze here, and it isn't quite enough to sustain itself on its own. Like I was running her.
You have to do a lot of magic in order to make it be self-sustainable.
So I was running her on a team that did nothing but generate meter, because I had like Lumberjack uplift, I had Grimnir to give himself meter, I had Urius to give himself meter. Like I was chugging meter down, and it still on turn 13 or so took me a Typhon to keep that buff up for the full 15 turns. With that said, that's still pretty good. Like 13 out of 15 without, a Typhon or a like Huanglong summon or something like that. That's not bad.
Mm-hmm. It's just that it's such a long cooldown.
Yeah, and if that thing gets dispelled, you're just sad.
You can't dispel it.
If that thing falls down, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. It's like let me actually look up SR Korwa's numbers on that, because she only has to give it to someone else. She can only give it to someone else.
So then we have Mystical Aura, which is uplift for 3 out of 7, and Recovery Cap boosted is a weird one when it doesn't actually come with a heal on its own. It's there for other people's heals and her refresh. And refresh is such a sad thing to give healing cap up to. Like,
I mean, technically it doubles her the healing on that refresh.
It is.
So it's 500.
Yeah, it's not a percentage, unlike the healing EMP node, which she doesn't have anyway. So
it's like Catalina's.
It is.
EMP.
Catalina's is good, but Catalina's is also always on. So there's that.
Yeah.
But still, she provides a lot of passive healing. She gives a decent amount of multi-attack. And then there's the funniest thing about this, where the flavoring of this ability is that she comes up with a pun and it's so bad the enemy gets debuffed.
So so people, when it first came out, didn't realize that the attack down, defense down doesn't always come out.
Yep.
The other thing is also it only stacks to 30%.
And if you're using her meter in order to maintain debuffs, and you have to press it all of those extra times to try and keep attack or defense down maintained, then she's not Koikazeing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, of course, within a half hour of her release, someone had already taken her to Lucilius HL and soloed Lucilius HL with her in the party.
I mean, that's wind.
But that's wind. Yeah, that's
not. You can't really count that.
It's more in spite of her than because of her. So there's that.
Also, the thing on that Korwa thing I was looking up, by the way, it is 12.5.
So 2010, it's a better SR Korwa. Yes, you're better than an SR.
No, I was talking about the up full time.
Oh, okay.
So if we just tone down the cooldown by a little bit, that'd be nice.
I don't feel like it's necessary. This character's nice. I'm laughing that the light and wind just get everything for free.
I mean, it's like the most simple thing to do with a collab character, really.
It's that and fire. Fire is super easy.
Like, what was it? Our dark character was Lelouch, and that made sense because it's Lelouch.
And Joker.
And Joker because he has Aha.
Mm-hmm. He's with Arsene, he is naturally dark element. And then
but you never really, unless you're doing some type of anti-hero role or someone who's just devious, you're not gonna get much dark characters from collabs.
And then we down here in the fire pits, we've got one Love Live. We've got someone who literally had a microwave in her hand, and
a lot of SRs.
Yeah, a lot of SRs. Do we have a free water SSR that's not a Love Live yet? One Love Live.
I don't think so, actually.
It's just the Love Live. Alright. Good talk.
Because the other one's SRs.
Yeah, let's go down to Earth.
No.
Love Live. Yeah, alright. Yeah, so Wind has a bunch of them, Light has a bunch of them, Dark has too. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm not bitter about it or anything, it's just funny to me. Anyway. The fact that she just plain has Revitalize on herself all the time is something that I keep forgetting about, to be perfectly honest with you. But
She's not gonna be full health all the time. That's the problem.
But I mean, it's one of the reasons, along with things like the uplift that she got from herself and or from leaf burning,
Yeah.
is how that uptime was kept so high. Anyway, fun character. I wish that she didn't Kaede so hard.
Unfortunately for you, she is Kaede.
It's really true. Anyway, her art is actually really interesting because it is actually 3 pieces of art in the same art. I don't know very many others that do this, because it starts with like a really...
Korwa?
Yeah, that's a collage. It's true. But like, it starts with this really long shot here of her sitting like in a valley or a meadow singing. It closes in on her face while she's singing, and then she's sitting there in the meadow, like looking all pretty and looking like she's doing a model shoot. And
I mean, she was a model.
the thing that like gets me about this art right here is there's a big gap right here. There's this transparency right above her singing face.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And part of her shawl here goes up behind her head, like behind her close-up, and then through the transparency and into the landscape. And it's
I
just
feel like we're gonna clean this up later.
it's just so weird to me. It's pretty weird.
I feel like they're gonna eventually clean that up.
Yeah, I guess. It's just, I don't know. It's a little incongruous. Like, each individual piece I really like. You know, I like the long wide shot. I like the close up. I mean, I'm a Kaede fan, and a lot of people are Kaede fans. She's still in the top 5 of the Cinderella Girl election. So, you know, there's a lot of bias flying around here. But I like the art. I don't know. There's just something a little bit off about it to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's that transparency right there. That's really what it is. Because if you go back to New Generations and their art, I mean, it's a lot. It reminds me a lot of like the other, you know, Triad arts, or even Gachapin and Muku,
Yeah.
where it's just them having fun in a field. There they are. That's all 3 of them. There's like, it's, you know, it's non-square, which is nice. They started doing that with Valentine's Clarice, right? Where they started putting backgrounds in and just like
I want to say yes.
framing them differently. Yeah. But you know, like there's something that breaks the frame there. There's that little dandelion puff that goes outside of it, but I don't know. They're not trying to put something past this dandelion puff. I guess that's what my thing is.
Yeah. So it's like it doesn't really matter in that case.
Yeah.
But yeah, now that you pointed out, I can't. I'm just gonna be stuck looking at it now every time I look at that.
I'm
art.
sorry, but I have to point these things out. It's just how I work. All right. So the last thing we were going to be talking about today is the new class champion weapons.
All right.
Have you made any of these yet?
Nope, and I don't plan to.
I mean, that's fair. So let's go talk about how they're made first, because the first thing about them is that the Tall Tale Teller and the Rip Van Winkle, right? The Lumberjack Weapons. They don't have a class champion replica. They just plain start from Rusted Weapons. I personally am a huge fan of this, because I have so many of these damn things sitting around, and I would like to be able to use them productively.
Well, now you can.
There you go. So hold on. Is there a? There it is. The weapon detail. So let's talk about the Tall Tale Teller, and then we'll also compare it to the Rip Van Winkle afterward. So the Tall Tale Teller on CA boosts skill damage specs. While Woodcutter Song is up, which is what, 3 out of 6?
Roughly.
You get Chaser on your MC. And then the skill 2, it accelerates your Laughing Logger casts by a single cast. So the first one usually just gives you the crit. And then the second one gives you the keen, and then the third one gives you cap up. And then, so this one gives you keen on 1 along with the crit, and then Laughing Logger on the second cast gives you the damage cap up. Do you actually use Laughing Logger that much?
I use it because I don't have any other skill to put sometimes.
It's considered the worst of Lumberjack skills because it's not a team buff, unlike all the other Lumberjack things that you do. It's just your MC who gets keen, and just your MC.
This entire weapon is very selfish to MC. Let's be honest.
Yeah, and the class is not very selfish. So then we get to the Rip Van Winkle. So it boosts the MC's healing specs, which is actually quite nice.
That one's actually kind of useful.
Especially since we'll get there for the second skill. But when you use Leaf Burning, which normally only gives your MC a shield of 4k,
yes,
this gives the shield to all other allies as well. It's not 4k, it's what, 2500?
It's 2500.
Yeah, 2500. And then the Kind Woodcutter's Apex, it once again accelerates your cast of Dappled Sunlight. The first cast of Dappled Sunlight normally heals. The second one is when you start getting clarity, and the third one is where you get Veil. And so this one, out of the box, is heal plus clarity. And then the second time is heal and Veil.
That's really good.
It's really good. I don't know if I told you about this or if you watched my Lumberjack solos, but
I did. I watched it.
When you have Dappled Sunlight and they're packing it, and you have to cast that stuff on turn 1 in order to just make it a useful button later, it feels bad. You're just like, I need this on cooldown as quickly as possible so that it can then become a better button.
Yeah.
Like there's sort of that push and pull of I need to wait until this heal is useful versus I need to press this heal even if I'm at full health in order for this heal to be useful later.
Yeah. So the harp is really team oriented, while the axis is really selfish. That's all we got from this.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Rip Van Winkle, in my opinion, is the big winner. I probably will try and make one of these in light? Maybe? Maybe light. Because everything else I have a good harp in that I'm totally okay with using as Lumberjack.
Yeah, but in light, you really don't need the Dappled Sunlight stuff.
Yeah, you're right. So I don't know where I would make it yet.
Fire.
But Fire has the Draconic Harp.
Yeah, I know. I thought about that for a second.
Water has Dante. Earth has
really
both.
good.
Earth has both the Xeno Harp and the Opus. Wind,
good.
I guess Wind. It could take over for the Springs, whatever it's called.
I mean, you don't have much healing in Wind unless you're bringing Lena, so or a Monkey.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if Monkey really wants to get rid of that debuff.
Yeah, and if you're bringing Monkey, you might as well have this thing just to have the clarity, because you want to clarity yourself a couple times so that her heal debuffs don't gank you. Alright, let's talk about the Vanguard. So I've actually managed to play some Cavalier now, and can talk about this these weapons.
Are we talking about that run?
Oh, that run was so bad. Alright, so Vanguard. So, because you're a Spear Cavalier, it means that you're, let's see, it's
heavily defensive.
Heavily defensive, your hostility goes up, and your meter gain goes down, doesn't it?
Yes.
So you're going to get this CA effect less often, and it's going to be strength to the team.
Well, you're also countering, too. Don't forget about that.
It's true.
With Spear.
And then when you use Drag Fract, which is the nuke on Cavalier, you get drained to your MC. So, you know, you make yourself more tanky. And then it gives you a passive based on your equestrian affinity, which goes to 3 really quickly, honestly. And you get an extra seraphic bonus on top of everything else.
Up to 15%.
So while you are playing your defensive utility class, you actually give at least some offense. But
It's...
the problem is that you're bringing Dragfract. This is what I have realized.
Here's the problem. Both of them use Dragfract.
Yes. And Dragfract is not a
Kind of bad.
good button.
Alright, so with Spear...
It's a self-heal.
It's a self-heal for 3,000.
And a nuke. But, like...
that nuke only goes to 380k before any...
Well, is it 380k per hit or 380k total?
total.
Oh my god. But, like, I would so much rather be bringing Battering Ram to get a dispel or a delay.
Yeah?
A double dispel or a double delay.
That'd be sick. Too bad it doesn't affect that move.
Like...
Or High Command. High Command's useful.
It's a 12-turn cooldown. I'm not gonna call that one that useful.
It's more useful than Dragfract half the time.
True. But out of all of these skills, I would really like to be bringing Battering Ram. I would really like to be bringing Battering Ram.
Oh man, why is it Dragfract?
Why is it Dragfract?
Since we're talking about it, let's talk about the other weapon. Let's see what it gives from Dragfract.
Look, I tried to bring this weapon to an Ultimate Bahamut solo, so I could talk. I could talk to you about the Mezieris. Wait, I didn't even need to go back to that. I just needed to do this and hit weapon. I own it. It's right here. So, you're a gun cavalier. It means that you have hostility down, and it means that what's the other thing on? It is a hit to maximum HP. When you get your equestrian affinity from not taking damage on a turn.
That's slightly easy.
And you give your entire team the stamina buff that also is on, like, Xenosword main hand.
Correct.
And, because of the weapon, you have... When you use Dragfract, everybody gets 20% meter. Not bad.
At least Dragfract comes up every 5 turns. That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah. And
the problem is that you're using Dragfract.
Then you have a boost to every ally's dodge rate on CA, and since you're a gun cavalier and you have this button that gives your entire team 20 meter, that'll actually come up a decent amount. And when it's your main weapon, you get Chaser on your MC based on your equestrian affinity. That's fine.
That's okay.
And, like... Gun Dragfract boosts to chain burst specs. Like, why?
Look, you really wanted 45% cap increase.
It's so bad. Like, I was taking this skill set, and I think my main character was the reason that run failed. Like,
yeah, so you didn't do much in that fight, let's be honest, dog.
It was so bad. I wanted so badly to hit Battering Ram and double slow. Double slow would have been so good. I'm still mad at that one. I'm still mad.
It's not... ugh.
So, like, Cavalier's not necessarily a bad class, but, like, why are they attaching it to such a bad skill?
At least it's spammable. That's the only good side. Really. That's it.
Dragfract. Dragfract. Why Dragfract?
I don't know why they're both the same skill. That's all the other thing.
Why couldn't one of the... If one of them had been Battering Ram, I would have made that one and had 0 regrets. I'm saying that again.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
That one gets a Dom face in chat.
All right. Anything else we need to talk about other than how mad we're at Dragfract?
Drag fract. This is a personal thing, so
All right.
I may have gotten a little happy about trying to draw Predator in the recent gala.
What did you do?
I may be at 98 gold moons. So I may be holding a poll on Twitter soon, asking people for their opinions on which of these superlative weapons gets made next. It's not. No, Mjolnir is not going to be on the list.
My answer is Caduceus.
In what element?
Yes.
I see. Because, Freikugel's easy. Freikugel goes with fire. Ulikumi probably also with fire. Skypiercer, I don't know. Skypiercer would probably be dark.
Dark.
Maybe. Hercules is whatever element you want it to be in.
Hercules is whatever element you want to do proving ground with.
What if... Hold on. What if
Another
I had
Amino?
2 Aminos? Both of them water.
Don't make me fly down to your house.
Come on down, I'm lonely.
You have 2 other people in your house.
You know how it is talking to the same people every day.
Yeah, that's fair.
Alright, so that's it for this week. Next week, we have the following things. We'll be able to talk about the upcoming story event. Right now, we're getting like little tiny kind of hints about what the next event's going to be, but not really.
Mhm.
Like, it's all speculation at this point. It's like, haha, Bale talks about Aoidos in the latest Granblues. Obviously, it's going to be an Aoidos event because the Aoidos single is coming out. And what better way to promote the DOS? The DOS?
It's probably DOS, but
The
it's funnier
DOS.
if it's DOS.
The DOS. Or maybe it's going to involve Korwa. Or Lena. Maybe it's going to be
Oh,
Mysteria friends.
with Korma, it's easy because she's her save is on hiatus.
Yeah, they can't do Korwa. Well, they can, but they shouldn't.
They should not.
Maybe it's just gonna be butt jokes for I don't know, man.
Rip drain.
Rip drag. So anyway, the next thing other than that, so in 3 days we're going to get the birth of a new king, the new Beelzebub fight. There will be a whole lot to talk about when that happens.
Oh, that's gonna be a lot of content.
There's gonna be a new story. We're gonna get to see more Shalem, hopefully. Maybe
We're gonna actually have more V2 fights.
an actual V2 fight in a 6-player environment where V2 is actually meaningful, unlike Lindworm. Although, I have to say, even though the guard button doesn't really mean anything against Lindworm, I still appreciate the ability to see this giant flashing sign that says, hey, there's a move coming. I like that one.
I'm really glad that big boy Mugen knows how to guard, even when he has full meter.
He blocks. Good job, kid. But yeah, those are the things that are coming up. We've got that, and we've got when are the Rage qualifiers for Granblue Fantasy Versus?
I've been out of touch of this
Yeah.
because I haven't been looking at it.
Our boy Ryan actually signed up for those. We're gonna go cheer him on. Anyway, so that'll be it. That'll be what's coming up. Anything else? I think that's it.
And that's about it, actually.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us on Granblue Radio again, everybody. This is a nice short episode, and we will see you guys next week. Thanks, DJ.
All right. No problem. See you guys later.
See you later.